here is level 2. And I'm just going to get right into it with the examples. Here's the first example. X minus 4 squared equals 36. Okay, now, how do we undo squared? I notice that all of this is being squared. How do I undo squaring something? I square root it. So if all this is being squared, I'm going to square root the whole thing. Okay, and again, normally I would just do it on both sides. Again, just for the sake of your notes, I'm going to rewrite this so that you can see. This is the original equation, right? And what I'm choosing to do, right? Like, okay, for example, if I had an original equation like this, 5x equals 10. This is the original equation. What I'm choosing to do is divide by 5. This is my choice. Okay, so my choice right here is that I'm going to square root because I see squared and I know that I use inverse operations and square root is the inverse of squared. If I square root on one side, I got to square root on the other side. So this square root and this squared, they undo each other. So what I'm left with is x minus 4. Okay, now over here, remember square root, I have a positive and a negative square root. So I write like this, plus or minus 6. Okay, now here's the thing. Remember on level 1, I was just like, oh, x equals positive 6, x equals negative 6, I'm done. But I'm not done here. Because what this means is that this could be positive 6 or negative 6. So we're going to break it into two equations. X minus 4 could possibly equal negative 6, or x minus 4 could possibly equal positive 6. Now, I still need to solve for x. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. I get x equals negative 2. In this case, when I add 4 to both sides, I get x equals 10. So here, my answer is that x could equal negative 2, or x could equal 10. And notice I went from smallest to largest, and there's my answer. Okay, here's one more example, and then you're going to get a chance to practice this. Okay, what am I doing first? I notice that this is being squared, so I'm going to square root it. Again, just for the sake of the example, I'm recopying so you can see what's going on here. Okay, when you actually do the problem, you don't need to recopy it to square root it. You can just square root it. But I'm square rooting. Now, the square root and the squared, those undo each other. So those are gone. What's left is 3x plus 5. And the square root of 121 is plus or minus 11. This is the step where I say, oh, I see a plus or minus sign. So that means that this equation is going to get broken into two equations. 3x plus 5 could equal negative 11. Okay, or 3x plus 5 could equal positive 11. Okay, I'm going to subtract 5. Negative 11 minus 5 is negative 16. I'm going to divide by 3. Negative divided by positive is negative. This is going to end up being a really ugly decimal when I put it in my calculator, so I'm just not going to. I'm just going to write negative 16 over 3. Right, let's say it was a 15 over 3, I would just divide, but if it's going to be an ugly decimal, then I don't want to divide. Okay. I'm going to subtract here. I get 3x, 11 minus 5 is 6. Notice when I'm solving the equation, I'm doing the same thing both times, right? Of course, because I'm trying to get x by itself. So if I'm trying to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 5 and divide by 3, subtract 5, divide by 3. The only difference is the number on the other side. 6 divided by 3 is a nice clean 2. So my answers are x equals either negative 16 over 3, right? And if I could simplify this, I would, but I can't. Or positive 2. Okay, so there's your examples. And you can go ahead. And this is your workspace for the next few practice problems.